the Toronto Blue Jays have really fallen from grace when you consider how close they came to appearing in the World Series a season ago, delaying a complete dud throughout the course of this season. So what's the key to finding their offensive magic and consistency once again? Eric Cohen, story editor for TSN, completes his trio of appearances on the Two Man Advantage podcast by talking Blue Jays. And finally, we just want to touch up briefly on the Blue Jays and how you think their season has gone to this point.
Well, unfortunately, I'd say their season to this point has been an epic failure. Here the Jays were in the ALCS last year, a couple of bad calls away from being in the World Series, and this year has been a disaster. I mean, pretty much everything that could go wrong has gone wrong for this team. They brought back all the same players, pretty much offensively, and none of them are living up to the hype. Tulowitzki has struggled badly. Martin has struggled very badly. Donaldson hasn't produced the way he produced last year. Bautista's in a severe slump. So, all of your main pieces are really struggling. They're not scoring runs. They're not manufacturing runs. And their bullpen's been an epic failure. Brett Cecil, who didn't give up a run the second half of last year, has been terrible. Drew Storen, who the Jays really hope would have found his form that he showed in Washington the first half of last year before they went out and got Johnson Papelbon, has been horrific. He has not been able to pitch in any situation. They've tried him a couple times in the closer role. They've tried him in a setup role. They've tried him in mop-up duty, and nothing has worked for him. And, the starting pitching was very good up until the last three games, and then Aaron Sanchez and company couldn't hold a big lead in Texas. And then the Jays came home, and they just got absolute stinkers from Jay Happ and from Marcus Stroman, two guys that have been really good all year. So there's a lot to be very concerned about. And, some people will say, well, it's early, it's mid-May. It's not so early anymore. You've played over 40 games, and last year I know the Blue Jays were under 500 when they acquired Troy Tulowitzki late in July and then made the trade for David Price, and then they caught absolute fire. But you just can't expect that that's going to happen every year. The Blue Jays are saying all the right things about, well, we know we're very good. We know we're going to catch fire soon. I want to see it already. I want to see this team play consistent, good ball the way they did down the stretch last year. And until I see that, I'm going to be very worried.
Now, do you think the dust-up with Odor in Texas can sort of spark this team or no?
Well, you would have hoped so, but it did the exact opposite. The Jays came home after that situation with Odor, and they got pummeled and probably have played their worst two games of the year since that incident on Sunday. The first two games of this Tampa Bay series have been absolutely embarrassing. I mentioned the poor starts by Happ and Stroman, but everything has gone wrong. The defense has failed them. Saunders has made some horrifically bad plays in the outfield. Josh Donaldson, who had only one error going into yesterday's game, made two errors in an inning. So the body language doesn't look good. The intensity doesn't look good. They just look like a team that is going through the motions and look like pretty defeated right now. So I need to see a lot more out of this team before I can feel good about what's happening.
And finally, my final question for you. Obviously, you feel that the Blue Jays are severely underachieving. So what do you think is the key for a quick turnaround to salvage their season?
Well, they have to fix all the things that I said.
Yeah.
So that means that they've got to, a bunch of their hitters have to turn their seasons around. Cecil and Storen, especially in the bullpen, Cecil's on the DL right now. Hopefully he'll be, okay in about a week and a half. But those two need to pitch the way they are expected to pitch. I mean, they brought in Storen thinking that, okay, if we have the lead through 6, we have Cecil, Storen, Osuna, and we're going to win. That is the way the Yankees feel. The Yankees don't have a very good team, but they do have a very good bullpen between Bautista, Miller, and Chapman. When the Yankees have the lead through 6, they feel very confident that those 3 relievers will bring it home, and for the most part they will. The Blue Jays want to feel the same way. They want to feel like if they have a lead, those 3 guys are going to do their job, and 2 of the 3 of them have done anything but do their job so far. And of course I'm talking about Storen and Cecil. Osuna's been very good. So that is a major concern, but more so is the offense. I came into this year thinking the Blue Jays, who set all sorts of offensive records last year, would do the same thing this year, and that just has not happened. And until Martin and Tulowitzki and Bautista and I mentioned Tulowitzki, but until these guys start hitting consistently, this team's going to struggle.
Well, Eric, we want to take the time to thank you for your insight on everything Toronto sports, and we appreciate your time this afternoon on the Two Man Advantage podcast.
All right, you're welcome. Take care.